Hey everybody, JP aka Jester. How's it going? How's it going? I want to get a chance to do another vlog here. As I said, I was going to try to get some more vlogs out. Um, so, first of all, welcome, greetings, hi, howdy, howdy. A couple things to talk about first, real quick here, just kind of what's going on in my life. Um, uh, because I've mentioned before, I actually got a new baby on the way. Actually, due next month in August, and I'm looking forward to that. Trying to get the house ready for it, and that's exciting. So that's been taking a lot of my time here. Beyond that, beyond the normal stuff I'm trying to do and have fun with, I also got a new project that's going to be coming up. One of my very closest friends contacted me and talked about doing a project, and I'm not going to say much about it right now because we're just in the beginnings of kind of brainstorming on what we want to do and where we're gonna go with it. So we'll see how that goes. So, anyways, so that's what's going on in my life right now in that regard. The topic today I want to bring up actually is a little topical topic. Nothing too deep today, but I actually want to talk about it. The title is serial content is doomed. Doomed. What do I mean by this? What I basically mean is, as of right now, we think about TV seasonal content. The way it's laid out, we have the season. Everybody knows about seasons. You come into the fall, a new series or a new season of a series starts, and you go through the winter season into the spring season, or fall, winter, and spring, watching new stuff once a week whenever stuff comes out, and then you get to the summer. And the summer comes along and it all dries up. So you get reruns. And there's some content out there, cable networks like USA, where they kind of start their stuff off in the summer, and that's great. And they kind of end in the fall. My personal opinion on this, it's doomed. And I'll tell you why. Explanation, first of all. If somebody out there is living under a rock and they somehow miss this, there is this inevitable transition that's starting to happen, and that transition is going from the cable and network content, where basically you go by their rules. If you want to watch a show, make sure you sit down at this time once a week to watch the show, or have it, have your DVR record it. But it comes out, bit by bit by bit, and then again, like I said, you that gap in time where they have the one season ending and the next one starting. Now there's this new shift where you're getting this kind of a la carte personality, and right now what you see a lot of it coming from is things like the big one is HBO Go. Now Showtime's going to be doing it, or starting to do it, where you can pay for HBO and basically you subscribe to their channel and you can consume their content online. Also, you'll see things like Hulu and Netflix, most notably. There is a big difference here, though, between like Netflix and HBO, for example. And the big difference isn't Netflix carries movies and things like that. No, what I'm talking about here, again, pertaining to like this serial content that comes out, is Netflix is starting to do a lot of original content, and some good stuff at that, I might add. But you'll notice the difference between how Netflix goes and how HBO goes is HBO is still operating on this old concept of serial progressive release in seasons. So, for example, Game of Thrones starts up, and we're starting to go once a week, getting these episodes coming out, and then you have that end of that season, and there's that long gap before you pick up again. Netflix releases their content in chunks. You get the whole season all at once. So they go through, they create this new content, they do the whole season recording, and when it shows up on Netflix, it isn't here's an episode, here's an episode, here's an episode. It's just full dump, so you can binge watch. And this is what kind of becomes a big difference here. Is there's a difference between getting fed a little bit over a course of time and then being able to binge watch. I'll tell you right now, from my standpoint, I'm a binge watcher. As much as I appreciate the whole dragging things out, and there's been controversy about how people make money and advertising and all that, I like binge watching because, being the way my life is, there are times when I can sit down and do something, and more often than not, when I do have that free time to spend to actually watch content, it's more than an hour, but it sure as heck isn't reliably 1 hour every week. So I do like to get a chance to binge watch. But that's not really the point and focus of why I'm thinking that seasonal stuff is doomed. The reason why I say this is because if you think about it, when you talk about content like HBO, where they have their seasons of content, there's no contract to this stuff. You pay, 10, 12, whatever dollars a month to have access to this channel, to HBO. And as you're going through it, like, for example, Game of Thrones. I like Game of Thrones. I'm going to pick up HBO at whatever their cost is per month, and I'm going to watch Game of Thrones. Well, that's great. But the problem is if they're only playing it for, say, 5-6 months out of the year, why would I pay for the other, 3 to 6 months when they're not playing that show? So there you go. Now all of a sudden you have this thing of, if I'm not in a contract and you only play a couple of shows I want, and all the content that, even if there's 5 shows I like, even if HBO has 6 shows that I really like, they're on that seasonal thing. So you start in the fall, and I've got 6 shows I could watch every week, but then there's that dry period, that gap in time. I'm not going to pay for their content if there's nothing there that I want to watch. So this is going to start ending things. Since people are getting off of this BS bloated cable content where you have 4,000 channels and half of them are church channels and QVC channels, AB3, C, D, and E, and all that, we're getting to this a la carte mentality. But if this content isn't constantly coming out with new stuff year round, people aren't going to pay for it. Yes, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to be like, they don't have the mindset or the frugalness to say, whoop, that was the last episode I wanted to see, cancel the service. They're going to definitely catch a lot of people who are lazy, don't remember, just do auto renew. That's typical. But I can definitely say that I think there's going to be enough of an impact with people who are mindful of that and just picking the content they want and then dropping the service until that content picks back up again. So I think that's going to make a big difference. Now, what's the likely result? Well, the likely result, I think, is going to be there's going to be a huge format shift in how content is released. I do believe that a lot of the HBOs and Showtimes and all those are going to start adapting a different architecture when it comes to release. It may not be the binge concept that Netflix operates on, which is sad. I can understand. But I think it's going to be, at the very least, there's going to be a more arbitrary displacement of start points for each show. So Game of Thrones may start in September, but then, this other show's going to start in December and May and June. It's going to be all over the place. That way, if you get content that's interesting to people, anything else that might be in that same category. If I like Game of Thrones, I'm going to like Game of Lawn Chairs. And they're going to stagger that off so that it starts in May. So that as Game of Thrones is ending, Game of Lawn Chairs is starting, and you can go through all of that. And they'll keep you on board through the whole thing. So at the very least, I think there's a couple good things that come of this. One, we're going to get away from this seasonal dead zone of time. So people can consume content when they want to. And two, I think there's a good chance we're actually going to start seeing even more content that we may be interested in, because now with production getting a little bit cheaper, a little more affordable, and people willing to take more chances, because you got more people out there now with Netflix stepping into it and Hulu trying to create their own content, Amazon trying to create their own content, etc. You're gonna have people who are gonna be willing to try to bring out more stuff that a lot of times would make it past the pilots. So I think that's a really good opportunity right there. So I think all in all, this is really a win-win for everybody, because they're going to make more money and we're going to get better stuff to watch all the time, which I appreciate. So that's my take on it. But tell me your thoughts. Let me know down in the comments on our YouTube channel here. Give me some thoughts and feedback and whatnot. I will try my best to read it all and reply, since not a lot of people cock right now. So it's pretty easy for me to reply if you actually make a comment. But definitely give me your thoughts on it. Also, if you have any ideas or thoughts on different topics, things you'd like me to bring up and talk about, please feel free to let me know down below. And I'll try to see if I can talk on those topics. If I know anything about them, I'd be happy to jabber on about it. And then, of course, as always, much like with any channel, if you have any interest in the jabbers and random thoughts and whatnots of myself, feel free to hit the like button or subscribe to the channel to get updates when I release new content. And, well, we'll catch you later. Peace.